All right, Kyle, let's get into some GBG.
The GBG is brought to you by HelloFresh. You can say goodbye to takeout and hello to HelloFresh. Healthy ingredients, easy to follow recipes, shipped right to your door. And for a limited time, get $30 off your first box when you go to HelloFresh.com/Kyle, plus free shipping at HelloFresh.com/Kyle. So when I saw the quote that I saw from Kim Cattrall yesterday, it floored me because I loved the show Sex and the City. I've loved the movies Sex and the City. And I always kind of imagined that these girls really are friends. But Kim Cattrall's quote was, "We were never friends. Our bond was the series. The series is over." Period. Like, that's pretty brutal. Like, you know, there's some major drama in the city. So Kim Cattrall, she's gotten some bad press lately because she said no to doing Sex and the City 3. But she's come forward saying, look, these stories of me being a diva, these stories of me being non-compliant and not helping out should not be happening. She said, I've been telling them for a year, no. Like, I'm not into this. And they have thought that maybe they could change her mind, or they thought they could woo her into a third movie. And she was like, I mean, from the very beginning, when they brought up Sex and the City 3, I said no. So they shouldn't be surprised that the answer stayed no. She also said that during her time and after her time on Sex and the City, there's one person in particular that she didn't really get along with. And that happens to be the main character of the show, Sarah Jessica Parker.
This is really where I take to tasks the people from Sex and the City, and specifically Sarah Jessica Parker, is that I think she could have been nicer. I really think she could have been nicer.
Jeez.
Yeah. She said, look, you know, she felt like the black sheep on set. She said, we were colleagues. That was about it. Now, she does say, look, the role that she played Samantha Jones on the show. She said, it's a great role. If you want to do Sex and the City 3, go for it. Do it. I don't want to be a part of it. Recast that part and go forward.
It's kind of like, it's like, I can't believe she said that. But then finally you have someone speaking their truth. And it's like, all right, well, man, how can you say that? And then, or if it was the other way around, come on, just tell the truth. Yeah. You don't like working there. Like, so.
And she just flat out said, like, you know, and why would you want to put yourself back into that situation and work with people that you feel like are not nice to you? Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
I know, but I
wouldn't
just
want to
can't
put
believe
myself
Sarah
in
Jessica Parker's not nice.
Yeah, that is hard to believe.
I think she's nice. I think something's wrong with Kim Cattrall.
It may be only a matter of time when we get the other side of the story, because there's always, what, 3 sides of the story?
I don't think you'll get the other side. I don't think Sarah Jessica Parker is going to talk bad about Kim Cattrall. You know why? Because Sarah Jessica Parker is nice.
We don't know what happened behind the scenes, so we'll leave it at that.
Sarah Jessica Parker, I can't believe she said that.
There's also a lot of things that we did not know that was happening behind the scenes in Hollywood, specifically with sexual harassment and sexual assault. And it's all come to light. It's all come to the forefront since Harvey Weinstein has had 50 women come forward and share their stories about how he violated them, really. Matt Damon and George Clooney, they worked on a movie together, and they sat down on Good Morning America with Michael Strahan. And they both talked about, you know, both of them have worked closely with Harvey Weinstein. Matt Damon says he met Harvey back in 1997 when Harvey Weinstein actually bought Good Will Hunting. And he said he signed him on. He did 5 films with him right away and then didn't ever work with him again. And he said back then, he's like, he knew there was something off about them, but he didn't really know the extent.
You had to spend about 5 minutes with him to know that he was a bully, he was intimidating. That was his legend. That was his whole kind of MO. Like, you know, could you survive a meeting with Harvey? Could you stand up for yourself with Harvey? So when people say, like, everybody knew, like, yeah, I knew it was he was proud of that. And I knew he was a womanizer. You know, I wouldn't want to be married to the guy, but it's not my business, really. But this level of criminal sexual predation is not something that I ever thought was going on.
Now, he said that he did hear about what had happened with Gwyneth Paltrow, who had come forward and shared her story about how she was sexually harassed by Harvey Weinstein. He said because, you know, his best friend was Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck dated Gwyneth Paltrow after she was with Brad Pitt, and supposedly Brad Pitt had confronted Harvey Weinstein about the issue, and Harvey screamed at him and said, never bring this up again. And in Hollywood, that's kind of just what it was. Now, what George Clooney admitted that he knew was pretty much nothing, but he feels like maybe he was told about the stuff and then just didn't realize it.
Harvey would talk to me about women that he'd had affairs with. I didn't necessarily believe him, quite honestly, because to believe him would be to believe kind of the worst of some actresses who were friends of mine. And I didn't really think that they were going to have affairs with Harvey, quite honestly, and clearly they didn't. But the idea that this predator this assaulter was out there silencing women like that, it's beyond infuriating.
George Clooney says we all need to be a part of the solution. And we've talked before about how this is just the tip of the iceberg. And now there's another Hollywood, I don't know if you could call him a mogul, but director James Toback. He's had, get this number, more than 193 women have come forward about James Toback and their experiences of being sexually assaulted or harassed by him. Now, Toback denies all these claims, saying it's biologically impossible for him to have assaulted these women because he has a heart condition. So apparently that makes him immune to all of this. But I mean, 193 women.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah. It's really hard to believe that just because your heart condition means you can't be a total creep.
It sounds like the whatever that culture was that the rest of America figured out, like what, in the 50s or 60s, Hollywood was still hanging on to, and now that it's come to light, people are shocked, and now they have to do an about face and go, okay, now we need to stomp out this culture entirely.
No, Rich, the thing that we are also learning with this is no, the rest of America did not catch on to it in the 50s and 60s, and even today, because, I mean, we're hearing all kinds of different people come forward. I mean, we just had the gymnast, Michaela Maroney, come forward and say, even in her profession, it's not just happening. And that's why the whole thing that Alyssa Milano started, the hashtag #MeToo campaign, that's what that's supposed to illuminate. That even though if you're not ready to tell the story of who did this terrible thing to you, you can come forward so we realize that it's not just a problem in Hollywood anymore. It's a problem everywhere. We'll definitely keep you posted as these stories unfold.